12th regular council meeting of the City of Grand Forks to order. And the first order of business is the agenda. The adoption of the agenda. Could I have a Councillor O'Doherty, Councillor Kendel? Thank you. Moving on to approving minutes from prior meetings. On October the 28th, there was the special meeting minutes to go in camera. Can I have a motion to Councillor Krog to accept these minutes, and Councillor Kendel second? Everyone in favor? Yes. Thank you. Our second of minutes for approval are the regular meeting minutes of October the 28th. Can I have a motion from Councillor Kendel and Councillor O'Doherty? Everyone in favor? Excellent. Thank you. So council reports, we're moving right along here, and just for the benefit of the media that's here this evening, Mayor Taylor is attending council business in Vancouver, and so I'm acting mayor for this evening's regular meeting. So for council reports, can we start with Councillor O'Doherty?
Your Worship, I have been helping out Whisper of Hope. They're now open, the fish shop is open, and Banff is also open, and they have people already in there. And I've been involved with Royal Canadian Legion. I was Remembrance Day, and we also went to Monterey Hospital, Hardyview Lodge, and Silver Kettle.
Excellent.
And there was a week of action there, so everything was fine, and there was a big turnout there.
Would you like to report on the Border Bruins success
Border
this
Bruins
weekend?
are 50-50. Yeah, winning and losing.
2 out-of-town games, and they won both.
Yeah. They're doing good. Yeah,
excellent.
Very good. Yeah.
Is that everything?
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Kendel.
Well, thank you, Your Worship. I attended the Remembrance Day ceremonies yesterday. Thought a great turnout. Lots of people in the city showed their support for the event and came downtown. It was great. Stayed to hear the Piper's second rendition at the Legion, which was a concert in itself.
Very popular.
So it was great. Today I attended the monthly meeting of the Boundary Museum. They're wrapping up their operations for this year. Their new display building is getting very close to completion. The exterior, they're just hanging some doors. It looks great. They're looking at the possibility of a donation of a huge amount of logging memorabilia, antique chainsaws and things to put in a static display dealing with the lumber industry next year. So we're looking forward to that.
In this display building?
In the new display building, yeah. So they're very excited about next year, the possibilities with the flour mill, the new display building. They're excited, and I'm looking forward to lots of good things for next year, and that's my report.
Good, thank you very much. And Councillor Krog?
I don't have anything to report at this time, other than I attended the remembrance ceremonies and participated. I thought this year it went quite well. I really liked the flyover because it was lower and it was almost perfect timing.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I can advise you that a World War II veteran, Dr. Bob Walton, was on board the aircraft.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome.
Sort of a ritual for him, because he used to do the flyover in his Navion.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will present my report as City Councillor. I'll start off with the Tourism BC held a workshop here at Community Futures on October the 29th. And for those who aren't aware, Tourism BC is now called Destination BC. They've gone through a name change. Our Thompson Okanagan Tourism rolled out their 10-year regional strategy, and we were invited to discover how Boundary Country could be part of the marketing message that differentiates us through storytelling. So there's a whole new science behind what they call Explore Quadrant, EQ. It's an EQ program, where you can determine what your travelers are looking for and what their interests are. And just to give you an example, they had, you could be, a cultural explorer is someone who's socially responsible with positive personality traits. They're risk takers, flexible, easygoing, energetic, and creative. And then there's the free spirit, the energetic travelers naturally drawn to exotic adventures. But the essence of what TODA is trying to achieve here on a regional level for the next 10 years is storytelling throughout our communities. And the region has been asked to come forward with 16 stories, and they will be proofread by I think there's 7 volunteers throughout the community that step forward to read these stories. So it's saying hello to your best customers, and it's a whole new approach to tourism, to determining what our tourists are looking for. Why are they coming to Grand Forks, in essence, is the short of it. And I mean, because we can all, what does Boundary Country want to be known for? We have to find our key images, our key themes, word phrases, and put them into a story. It's not just simply showing a bowl of borscht, but what people really want to do is experience making that borscht. And so the flavor of the story comes out in that preparation. And much like what the Boundary Museum does with their bread making in the bread oven. A picture says 1,000 words, but the experience themselves, that's what people are looking for today, is living the experience. And on October 31st, Citizens on Patrol were out on Halloween with a number of patrols from 5 till midnight that night. Overall, it was a very quiet evening that was reported, and mobile units assisted the Rotary bonfire site with road closures and crowd control. Citizens on Patrol, they're currently conducting the night nephelometer monitoring for the Grand Forks Environment Committee, and it's complementing, we're doing a same-day monitoring and same-night monitoring to do a comparison of the maps day and night to see if there's any variances, because we have identified in our previous mapping some strategic hotspots in our city limits. So now we're going to look at day and night, same day and night monitoring for another variation in the monitoring mapping. And one of the hot spots that I can identify for you is the Yale Bridge, right over by the Omega restaurant there. And we had one of our participants agreed to get a soil test done for us. And that particulate matter, the fine particulate matter that was found in that soil sample taken from that region, that area, was primarily brake dust particulate. So, you know, we know it is a heavy traffic area, both with Granby Road for the Pacific Abrasives and the logging trucks, as well as Highway 3. So that'll give you some insight into what's happening with the nephelometer. We also have been conducting speedboard monitoring on 68th Avenue because it was identified as a high-speed area. People are speeding down 68th Avenue, and so we were set up around 18th Street. And it's primarily, it gives the drivers a visual of how fast they're going, the speed board, but we're also monitoring for seatbelt infractions, no seatbelts, and anybody on cell phones. And that information is passed on to ICBC, and in turn, Citizens on Patrol receive some funding from ICBC annually for those reports. And finally, I have, flu season's upon us, and I don't know if everybody had an opportunity to get their flu shot, but if you missed it, Christina Lake is offering flu shots at the Community Hall on Wednesday, November the 13th from 9 to noon, so you can contact the health nurse here in Grand Forks at 443-3150 if you need any additional information. And over the weekend, starting last Thursday, River's Edge Theatre Group, did everybody have a chance to attend Becky's new car? And Councillor Smith, our own Councillor Smith, was one of the main characters, and it was a very delightful play. I'm sure Councillor Kendel, you were in attendance there Saturday evening as well as the crowd, well-attended crowd. So we congratulate River's Edge on the excellent performance that they put on. And the new venue that they've chosen is the Gem Theatre, where they've got a beautiful staging area set up. So it was very receptive because the acoustics was good for, they didn't need microphones and that. And once again, the Remembrance Day ceremony yesterday, yes. It was conducted by the Royal Canadian Legion, and it is a time of remembrance for all of us for the freedoms that we enjoy today and the individuals who sacrificed their lives. And a couple of announcements that I wanted to make. On November the 20th is the Grand Forks and District Library Board meeting, their regular monthly meeting at 4 p.m. in the library meeting room. As well, watch for the Friends of the Library will be hosting their annual Christmas cookie sale on Tuesday, December the 3rd. And the time to be announced will be coming out after the meeting. And the Grand Forks Environment Committee meets on Thursday, November the 21st at the Regional District Boardroom, and that's at 2140 Central Avenue, and that meeting starts at 11 a.m. So that concludes my report. And can I have a motion to accept the Councillor Mayor's report? Councillor O'Doherty, Councillor Krog?
Yeah.
Thank you. Everybody in favor? Thank you. And just to, the CAO has passed me some information to provide for the Regional District Kootenay Boundaries regular monthly meeting. And under the city's bylaw, of course, we present the information. And in the mayor's absence, I can advise you of a couple of items that have taken place. They have met with the officials from the Emergency Management BC to discuss the role and responsibilities of the West Boundary Road Rescue Unit. So this led to a follow-up meeting in October with the managers of the service that did a very good job in clarifying the issues for all involved. Secondly, John McLean, the CAO, did attend a seminar on climate change by the Kettle River Watershed Management Plan stakeholders on November the 7th. And in October, Mr. McLean participated in a meeting related to the provisions of the 9/11 primary safety answer point. As the board may recall, the Board of Regional District may recall, the new RCMP contract will result in increases in costs and the partners in the services. So he has been involved in the RCMP contract information and ongoing correspondence there. And that pretty much covers it for the impact of the Regional District's CAO report to our community. And can I have an acceptance of this report as well? Councillor O'Doherty and Councillor Kendel. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. So next we have on the agenda, from the Committee of the Whole this morning, there was a request discussed in length for early budget approval for the comprehensive water meter program. And we did have a verbal presentation by Mr. Allard of Piteau Associates for the City of Grand Forks Well and Aquifer Protection Plan. Following from that, there was a recommendation that was referred to our meeting this evening, our regular meeting. And that recommendation from staff is that Council recommends to approve early budget approval for the initiation of the comprehensive water metering program in the desired approach as laid out in the report that was presented this morning, together with funding from the city's current financial plan through the gas tax refund of $1.3 million. You'll make that motion,
yes,
Councillor O'Doherty? Do I have a seconder? Councillor Kendel? Is there any further discussion from the information that we did receive this morning? Because we do have our Manager of Technical Services here this evening.
I think we had a great representation this morning. Everything seems to be okay.
Councillor
Yeah,
Krog?
just a note, I don't know if it's appropriate, but that's never stopped me before, so why now?
Oh, she's leaving the room.
Yeah, I know she left. In a hurry too, she was running. Just that during our discussions this morning and even the vote to refer it to this meeting, that Councillor Wyers was not in favor of it, and he was unable to come tonight because of a sick child, so I think he would want that to be known on his behalf too.
He felt more comfortable with it, so
Yes,
in the
yes, yeah.
process that we're going through.
Yes, that
But we
makes
will
more sense.
certainly
Yeah.
make that notation in the minutes that there was
Yeah.
Councillor Wyers somewhat opposition to the...
Yes, perfect.
Okay, are you ready for the question? All those in favor? Thank you, carried. You okay?
Oh, she would way down.
Yeah. So moving on to a declaration, we have received under Section 107 of the Community Charter a contract with the city for pest control services, and this is from Councillor Gary Smith. The background has been itemized here. The additional services to allocate the mouse problem also at James Donaldson Park and the cemetery building will amount to approximately an additional $40 per month until the situation has been dealt with. This amount is over and above the $140 per month average, which involves services at various city buildings, including the fire hall, public works yard, the sewer treatment plant, and occasionally at City Hall. Now, this is a requirement for Councillor Smith to disclose, and it is before us this evening for approval. And I think we've seen this particular document. Yes?
Thank you, Your Worship. I think what I want to do is clarify, this isn't a contract. This is just ongoing work. We're not under contract with the councillor for this. Right now, there is no other services in our community that we're able to deal with, but at this point in time, it is just an ongoing process that we're dealing with, but it isn't under any specific contract.
And this is the same one we saw last year?
Exactly.
It's identical that we
Yes.
approved last year?
Yes.
Thank you. With that additional information from our CAO, do I have a motion to accept this?
So moved, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Kendel. A seconder? Councillor O'Doherty. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. And item 10B on the agenda this evening is a letter that we've received from the Phoenix Mountain Ski Resort, Ski Hill, and your Mr. Owen, can I?
Sure. Thank you, Your Worship.
I'd like to hand this over to you because
Sure.
you conducted the discussion this morning.
Yeah, so basically the Phoenix Ski Hill has come forward with a letter of request for funding from the city. But before we go into addressing this, we do have a situation where we can't provide assistance to a business. We have to look into this, and I'd like for the board members to come forward with a request to the city to talk to us about kind of what they're doing, what their plans are, and understand what the city's position would be on this. We need to know what the regional district's looking at. We need to know what the other supporters of this of the ski hill are going to do in the community to better understand what the city's position will be on this. I think it's got to be made a little bit more clearer to the community, because a simple letter to come forward for $25,000 is a pretty big request. I think there has to be a bit more of a formal approach. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be touching base with the writers of the letter and ask them to come forward to discuss this, and then potentially come before council to make this request, but also to understand what the regional district and the other supporters will be doing there. And then further to talk to our lawyers about the ability for us to provide this assistance to this business, or if they're going to be providing a fee for service for the city. So we'll have to sort those pieces out, but in the meantime, I'll be following up on this letter this week, and there should be some more information coming to council. So it'll be premature for us to be making a decision on it at this point, because I think we still need to hear from the group.
So at this point, we'd like to just accept this letter and the information that it provides for us, and allow staff to follow up
refer to staff for more
refer to
information.
staff for
and we'll
more
bring it-
information and follow up with the regional partners.
Exactly.
Okay, great. And so we have a recommendation that we'll receive this for discussion purposes and for the staff to follow up.
I'll move on.
Thank you, Councillor O'Doherty. Second by Councillor Kendel. And any further discussion? All those in favor?
Excuse me.
Thank you. Bless you. Item 10C, we've received the invitation for the annual Santa Claus Parade. And this year's theme, A Crafter's Christmas, will take place on Friday, December the 6th at 7 p.m. And the Selkirk College parking lot will be the marshalling area, and they'll carry on through the downtown core. So are we going to look at submitting an entry form again this year, Council?
Yeah.
Are we going to do it?
Oh, yeah.
I think we still got
I'm
the cross
gonna-
from last year.
I'll go reindeers.
Well, we did build a sleigh last year. City
Yeah.
Works
Yeah.
built a beautiful sleigh.
So it'll be Grand Forks Craft Christmas.
Crafters
and
Christmas.
Toronto Crackheads Christmas. Never mind.
Whatever you'd like to throw in there, Councillor Krog, for local color.
Yeah, that was fun. We should do
Okay,
that again.
so we'll get an application form in.
Yeah.
We'll instruct staff to submit an application form that the city will put a float in.
Yes, and could we request more candy?
Yeah.
We were hurting by the time we got around the
Yes,
corner and all the little
yes.
kids were looking at the reindeers and
We do need, and it doesn't hurt us to throw in a little bit of our
Yeah,
own.
yeah, that's
and
right.
as long as nobody feeds us, we'll be fine.
Do I need a motion for this particular?
I don't think we do it. I think just simply, council's going to be participating in the
Yes.
parade,
Yeah.
and I think that basically we'll submit the application on behalf of council.
Thank you very
and-
much.
And we'll schedule your time for your decoration, and you can come down and decorate, and you're in.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Mhm.
So pray for a little bit of snow. A little bit of snow. So our final item on the agenda this evening is the bylaw. Final reading and adoption for bylaw number 1990, and that is the amendment to the City of Grand Forks zoning bylaw number 1606 and 1999. And in this bylaw, we are looking for the final reading. Do I have final reading from Councillor Kendel? A seconder? Councillor Krog? All those in favor? Thank you. So bylaw 1990 has had its final reading. And by the looks of it, we have come to the end of our meeting for this evening. So I'd like to call this meeting, I'd like to adjourn this meeting, but before so, the media.
Yeah.
Yes, the media. They aren't on the agenda here.
Oh, we're not on the agenda. Oh,
Well,
questions
it's not
from
on-
questions from the
Yeah,
public?
questions from the public.
Oh, public and media.
Yes,
Yeah.
public and media. So do I have any questions from our media and public that are in attendance this evening? Les?
You were talking about citizens on patrol, doing a bit of a check on 64th, is it?
68.
68, yeah.
Yes.
And you're watching for seatbelt infractions and cell phones. Are you just watching video? I'm just curious. If somebody's driving down the road and they're being contemplative and they're resting their elbow and as they drive, you're thinking, how do you know they're not doing that?
Well, if there's a questionable one, we don't put it on our stat
Okay,
sheet.
just
We have a
curious.
stat sheet.
Yeah, okay.
We want to be very clear when we do it because, and to be honest with you, we didn't have one infraction.
No, that's good.
And we were out there for well over an hour in a busy 3:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon.
So taking off your seatbelt to answer your cell phone to tell, or to phone people to
And in
tell
that
them there's
short-
a reader board.
Yeah, and in that short time, we had over 170
Oh,
vehicles.
that's
that
pretty
went.
good.
So that shows you how much
Yeah,
that
that's pretty.
street is used.
Okay.
Any other questions from the public or the media? No? Well, I conclude the meeting for this evening. How was that?